Hello student, this video lecture is prepared for the heat transfer subject, and today I will discuss the unit number 5, that is known as the heat transfer equipments. In previous lecture I had discussed about removable bundle heat exchanger, that is known as the internal floating heat exchanger. Now in today's lecture we will discuss the U-tube heat exchanger, kettle reboiler or reboiler exchanger, and if the time permit we will discuss the extended surface heat exchanger. So let us start the lecture. So this is the actually U-tube heat exchanger. So in the figure, that means 5.11, it consists of U-shaped tubes. Okay, so these tubes are U-shaped. Both ends of these tubes is fixed in a stationary tube sheet. At one end of the shell, that means this shell, the channel is provided at this end with the pass partition. So this is called a pass partition, and it is used for the entry and exit of the tube side fluid. And at the opposite end, that means at this end of the shell, there is cover is provided. So this is called a shell cover. So this shell cover is provided, and this shell is having nozzles, that is two nozzles. So this is first nozzle and this is second nozzle for entry and exit of shell side fluid. The tube sheet is clamped. So this is the tube sheet. This is clamped between the shell flange and channel. So this is called a shell flange, and this is the channel. So it is clamped by nut bolt. The entire tube bundle can be removed from the channel, and also the differential thermal expansion. So this bundle can be removed from here, and thermal expansion between shell and tube is absorbed in a U-bend. Each tube is expanded without affecting the another tube. So here when there is one tube, there is another tube. So in this way the tubes are fixed in this U-tube heat exchanger. So in this heat exchanger, the tube side fluid, so this is the tube side fluid, suppose, is passing through the channel, and then this one arm of the U-shaped tube, and then it will travel to the another end through this bend, and it will remove from the outside provided at the channel side. Then the shell side fluid is also flow from in this direction. It will give the heat or take the heat, and then it will be removed from this side. So this type of a heat exchangers are used in a reboiler or sometimes in a high pressure and high temperature applications. Then our next heat exchanger is kettle reboiler or reboiler exchanger. So it is having two types, that is internal floating head arrangement or U-tube arrangement. And what is the difference between other and this? The vapor space in tube bundle is provided larger, or we can say the shell diameter is larger, and where it can be used in a distillation column, the reboiler is used at the bottom of the column for converting the liquid which is coming from here to vapor. Okay. So first we will discuss this figure 5.12 and then 5.13. Working of both figures is same. The construction is slightly different. So in this case, it consists of, so first, that is floating head arrangement, enlarged shell. So this is enlarged shell containing small tube bundle. So this is the small tube bundle. At one end of the bundle, they are, so this end, they are expanded in a tube sheet, stationary tube sheet, and the channel is provided with the pass partition. So pass partition is provided here. At the opposite end, that means in this end, the tube bundles are expanded in a floating head. So this is floating head. We had already discussed this floating head, and the tubes are free to expand. So tubes are free to move. The shell is provided, that means this area or this is shell is provided. Liquid inlet, so this is a liquid inlet. Then hot liquid outlet, and then vapor outlet. So shell is having three nozzles. One is for liquid feed, another is for hot liquid outlet, that means bottom product can be taken from here, and the vapor produced in this heat exchanger will be taken out or again feed to the distillation column from here. Okay, and in this case the construction is same, but instead of floating head, the U-tube arrangement is made in this heat exchanger, and remaining part is same as the floating head arrangement. Okay, so here only the floating head arrangement is made, and here the U-tube heat exchanger or U-tubes are used in a reboiler. So slightly construction is different, and this wear is maintained. Wear is nothing but just one plate which is maintained because we have to maintain some liquid level here, and overflow of this liquid level is goes as a bottom product. So this is a wear is nothing but just a one plate which maintain the liquid level, required liquid level here. So in this case, the generally heating media is steam which flow through the tubes. So here suppose that steam is flowing and it will condense, that means it will give the heat to this liquid which is coming from the bottom of the distillation column. So from here, so it will coming from here, it will goes here, and the steam is admitted here. So the vapors are created here. Vapors are created here. So these vapors are fed to the distillation column through this nozzle, and the unvaporized liquid, that means that bottom product is taken out from here. Okay, so here there is a one mistake, that is outlet arrow is provided in this direction, but it is in this direction. So note that point. So outlet is provided here. Okay, so this is the, we can say, the working of floating U-tube heat exchanger, kettle type reboiler with two arrangement, that one is for floating head and U-tube arrangement. And what is the use of this kettle type reboiler, or only we can say the reboiler? It is used in a distillation column at the bottom. The next heat exchanger is known as fin tube heat exchanger, which is also called extended surface heat exchanger. So sometimes what is happening, when one of the heat transfer coefficient of any fluid is low as compared to the other, at that time we have to necessary to provide a large surface area. So when this heat transfer rate or coefficient is low, when we are heating the viscous liquid and when we are heating the air, at that time one of the coefficient is very low and another coefficient is very high. So if we are using the steam, at that time steam side coefficient is greater than 100 to 200 times of air or gas side. So for that purpose, to increase the rate of heat transfer, we can add some surface to that pipes. So that is called a fin. So the metal piece employed to extend or increase the heat transfer surface are known as fins. So what are the different types of fins? Longitudinal fins and transverse fins. So longitudinal fins are having direction of flow is parallel to the axis of the tube, and transverse fins are having the direction across the tube. So if we look at this figure, so this is the longitudinal fin and this is the transverse fin. Okay. So if we look at here, so this is the transverse and this is the longitudinal. So in case of longitudinal fin, the long plate or channel is attached to the outside of this pipe, and in case of transverse fin, this disc type arrangement is made. Okay. So generally the transverse fins are commonly used for cooling and heating of the large quantities of the gases, for example in economizer or air cooled steam condenser for the turbine. Okay, so depending upon your use, you can use the either longitudinal or transverse fin. So these fins are added in that heat exchanger, and one fluid which is having low heat transfer coefficient is passing in the tube, and the heat transfer coefficient having higher, that fluid is passing another tube outside the tubes. So in this way the heat transfer is taking place in this heat extended surface heat exchangers. So the remaining construction and working is same, but only the tube surface is extended by attaching the metal pipe according to your requirement. So it is called extended surface heat exchanger or fin tube heat exchanger. Fin or extended surface, both are having same meaning. Okay. So here I want to conclude this lecture. So in this lecture we have discussed U-tube heat exchanger, then kettle reboiler, which is having two types or two arrangements, floating head, U-tube arrangement, and then at the end of lecture I had discussed fin tube heat exchanger or extended surface heat exchanger, and there are again some heat exchangers are remain that we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.